Hey yo, what's with it? It's your boy Dangel Beats, and welcome to Why I Make Beats. Today we're gonna take it back. I got a good friend here, go way back with. He's from the Funkytown Pros. So with no further ado, we're gonna get into it, Mr. Dev. Why I Make Beats.
The rap thoroughbred can't be rarely read from a paperhead. Style so simple, a klepto wouldn't steal instead. Don't look for the wouldn't bother, couldn't offer for free. No, brother, thanks anyway, it's way and survey to the real author.
Dev The Funkytown Pros. Now you know why I make beats.
But wait, there's more.
For real, peace.
Look at the hellbound, drowned body, Funkytown. Found that I be busting heads like walnuts, but all cuts come from Dev on the kick drum, cymbals, snare drum, samples, and horns. Soon as he gets warm, I get on stage and know we're gonna perform a self-seminar.
Say what's happening.
So
So we just gonna jump right into it, bro. You know, tell everybody why you make beats.
why do I make beats? From the beginning, there's stages of why I made beats versus other stages in my life.
Okay.
So would you want to?
What got you started? Like, what gave you the passion to it?
I've been when I was a kid, like when I was literally at kindergarten, coming into like first grade, second grade, right? It was always music. My uncles, all my cousins and everybody was doing music.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got old enough, I was in a band playing clarinet, and just stayed with it. And literally, that's what had me into music. But then one day we literally walking down the street, me and a couple of homies walking down the street, and I had a little boom box, right? So, we listening to Michael Jackson, TLC. So I had the tape playing, and as we was actually see who was on the radio, we switched to see who was on the radio. So it was TLC. So we start, I started playing with it, flipping back and forth between there and there. And I moved the tape to where it would be on time with it. So okay, we started doing it, back and forth. From there, that's when I started getting into music. That's when I got into wanting to DJ and wanting to manipulate music.
Okay. So you started off DJing before producing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So how long did you DJ before you transferred over into production?
I would say, well, literally, actually, you know what? To be truthful, when I really think about it, like a lot, no, that was really.
Come on with it, man.
That was really the first thing I did was I wouldn't really call it DJing. I was taking old songs and cutting them up and making my own versions of them.
Okay. You're doing your thing.
So it was kind of a mix between the two because at the time I didn't have working turntables in the mixer. I just had like my mom's old turntable, and I had like one of those. You get your first record player with the 2 cassette players on the bottom of it.
Right,
And I got those together and just wired them back and forth, and then put them onto another tape deck.
Okay.
So I just had all of those 2 wired going into that tape deck. That was the first thing I ever did. With the turntable to this, and then take that tape, put over here, record, let it play while this was going in, and making them like that.
Put in a lot of work.
Yeah. And then after that, yeah, I mean that's what I did. Then after that, then I finally got some turntables and stuff where I was able to actually make from Radio Shack.
So when did you make the transition from a turntable to what was your first equipment that you used to make beats?
First equipment was my first equipment was turntable. Like literally, like when I transferred, well, yeah, when we transitioned from that was Lindrum, and then from the Lindrum I went to the SP1200.
And once you got on the SP, was it an easy transition from, say, playing all the band instruments and then being able to go to DJing and then going to the SP?
Yeah, well, in my head it was easy, right? I knew what I wanted to do, but technically it was a little bit of a problem. The only problem was figuring out how to sample like we wanted to sample, because you only had 10 seconds, right? And I had a whole lot of, you know, you want to do this and put that in there and that in there.
Right.
So we was cutting it up and just figuring out how to cut it up was the main thing. But it was more fun than easy, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it was, if it was hard, it didn't feel hard because I was having fun, you know.
I feel you. When you started creating off the SP and you heard other producers, did you feel like there was some competition? Did you feel like I can do better than that, or I can do that, or what was your feel?
More I could do that, or I could do that, but also I would like to make my interpretation of it. I would like to do my version of it.
So you would say you have your own sound within your production?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Well, that's what I've been told. I don't really look at it like that, man. But yeah, I guess that's what I've been told. So yeah.
So on your production quest and doing everything you've been doing, when did you transfer into dealing with artists?
Within a couple of years, almost immediately, because I already knew Wonder. Well, I knew of Wonder, and Wonder knew of me, because from family ties, right? He would do stuff over here. I'd hear about him doing that over there, and then I would do stuff on another side of town. So soon as we met DJing, and I was already doing a certain amount of music. He was already doing a certain amount of music. So it was kind of like within a year, tops, maybe, you know, from the first time I started really trying to produce to, you know, Wonder. As an artist, I would say.
I feel you. So Funkytown Pros, when did that come into action?
Within a couple of years of us meeting, because Wonder was, like I said, when we finally met, Wonder was working with Manslaughter. They were DJing together, and then I was DJing, so then we all got together DJing, and we all could rhyme, obviously them better than me. I was doing beats, we could all produce, you know, DJing. And then one day we started, you know, giving them a couple of tracks and working on some music and put it together, and it kind of just evolved naturally. It wasn't he wondered if somebody might have a better set exact date or time, but for me it was just kind of, we just started working, and within probably a year of knowing each other, maybe less, I would say less than that, probably 6-7 months.
So together, did you guys create Funkytown Pros, or was there Funkytown Pros that you met, for example? You know what I'm saying? Like, were those guys already Funkytown Pros? Y'all met and y'all came together, or y'all created that as one?
The way it happened is Manslaughter used to mix Funkytown all the time. The word, let me take you to Funkytown, Funkytown. And we used to always come together, and we used to hear him mixing that. And then we started talking about doing a group. it was kind of like, this kind of came like, yo, that should be something you should use. You know, Wonder and them talked about it. You know, talked to me about it. Like, yeah, that means it sounds dope. And then we put the pros on it. Was sort of for professionals, for productions. It was twofold. And anything that would fall in that category, but mainly it was pros and professionals and productions.
So when you got to a point of putting out albums and things, was it for the passion and the love of the music that you was doing? Or did you see like how others are coming up and, you know, getting paid, living right and whatnot? You know, what was your angle when you really started to go in hard on it?
Passion. We wanted to do it. We wanted to. It was a release. It was a getaway. It was. For sometimes they call it a cliche or whatever, but you literally could be in your own world. Like, you could literally be in the worst hood, be in the, you know, on the borderline, Crip blood, whatever. You get behind those four walls and you can be anywhere. You know what I mean? That's how it was for me. You know, so I literally was in a room where it was four walls and no windows at one time when I first started producing. And go in there for hours, come out, oh yeah, I'm back in where I was when I left. You know, so.
Right. You said you took some time off for a minute. Why'd you do that?
We curse on this?
Yeah. Say what you want, bro.
Motherfuckers in the business. The business is shitty, man. Motherfuckers, you got motherfuckers want to try to get you on money in, weirdos making you offers, gangsters in the middle, and you look at this and you like, I don't want to wind up in a shootout with you in the middle, gangster, weirdo. I don't want to wind up doing some shit to you, and then you offering me this bullshit like I'm an idiot. And I see this, like, 75% of where you turn, that's what you run into. I'm like, man, I'm going in and back up off it because I'm not built like that. I'll do something that would, you know, fuck up my career, but not the career, I'll fuck up my lifestyle as outside of the career. You know, just living, that kind of shit. So I was like, I'm good, I'm gonna go do something else. And then had my daughter, and I was really cool for a minute, like, yeah, because I'm not trying to have her in that, you know. And then that's why I got out.
So during your time off, that's what you did. You took time, raised your daughter, and got your mental back together.
Yeah, and then I did raise my daughter halfway, you know, meaning, you know, her mom. So, yeah, but yeah, that was it. And then also, while I was raising my daughter, I got into history. So trying to find out about myself and who we are and all that over, you know, that kind of stuff. And I found, really, to be honest with you, man, the history and learning and knowing the history and all that stuff, it was as intriguing or as satisfying or as passionate or more than music. Because I could go thousands and thousands of years, right, and find out, you know, the most basic thing was where we was before slavery. We didn't start with slavery. We was on this land here for, obviously, well, not obviously, everybody don't know. We've been here for, some say, 130,000 years. You know, even if that's not the number, 60,000 years. What was we doing? Who was here? How did we get here? Any of those numbers is just amazing to me. It's like we learned about producing. I was into Mark the 45 King and, you know, James Brown to, you know, Slide to any of these people that you name. It was just as fascinating to me when I got into Malcolm X or, you know, Dr. Clark, John Henry Clark, Joseph Ben Yekin, finding out about the pyramids, you know, and how they used to call it Muna Matapa and all these other names before we called it, you know, like Egypt. Egypt is called Kemet, all right? Like, a lot of people know that now, but a lot of people don't, you know what I mean? So just getting into the history of all that stuff, man, is just, I could do that for the rest, literally I could do that for the rest of my life and not even scratch the surface. So doing music, what brought me back to music really is in part that, like the passion for it and then trying to put that into my music. Kind of, that's what brought me back. And then, you know, the fellas asking us to start doing music again.
Right.
You know, but that was it. But it's, I could go into that for forever.
Well, so now that you're back doing music, what's the future looking like for you?
Future looks great, man. My son's producing. My daughter says she wants to do some music. You know, I'm in a better position to let her do music if she wants to really do it, without dealing with all the extras.
Right, right.
Well, minimalizing it anyway.
Right.
My son, he can hold his own. We're working on a few things together. You know, done some movies, like I've done a couple of little movie spots and all that. You know, so it's dope. Can't complain. It's good.
Okay, okay. Did you bring something we can check out when we get over to the lab?
Yeah, yes sir.
Cool, cool. All right, well, there you have it. You got Dev from Funkytown Pros in the lab with Dangel beats. When we come back, we'll check out what he got coming up on Why I Make Beats. Hey yo, West with it. We back at Why I Make Beats. We about to step over into the lab with my man Dev from Funkytown Pros and see what he got coming up for you guys next.